It is sunny, breezy, and very warm at the Orange Bowl in Miami, where the Bills and the Dolphins are ready for their first meeting of the '86 season. Good afternoon, everyone. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy on a very hot, humid day in South Florida. Temperature in the 90s, high humidity. It's going to take a toll as the game wears on, particularly Trump for Buffalo. They've not practiced in it, and oftentimes a team loses in the fourth quarter because of it.
Don, it's a real test of team depth. I'm not sure how deep Buffalo is. Miami works out in this weather, so they're a little bit more used to it, but all week long, the coach, Hank Bullis, says consume fluids, kind of store up. It doesn't help. There is nothing more uncomfortable when you play football in humidity.
We'll see today match for the first time in their careers two of the celebrated quarterback class of 1983, Jim Kelly of the Bills and Dan Marino of the Dolphins. The multimillionaires who've been having some problems lately, particularly Dan Marino. Trump has thrown 7 interceptions in the last 2 games. What's his problem?
Well, Don, I think for quarterback, the only position of choice on the field is that of quarterback. And Marino admits that he's trying to do a little more than he should with this Dolphin offense. First 3 weeks, the defense failed. Last 2 weeks, now it's Dan Marino who is throwing the ball into coverage. And those 7 interceptions and just 2 touchdowns, very much out of character for Danny.
Jim Kelly hopes to get the Bills on track today. They've lost 4 games by a total of 11 points. Buffalo will score today. There's Kelly getting that right arm ready, because the Dolphins are giving up 35 points a game. Statistically, they're last on defense in the NFL, but they're #1 in offense, particularly the passing game, better than ever, although not lately.
And Kelly loves this field. This is where he went to college, played for the Miami Hurricanes, 20-6 as a starter with the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Hurricanes.
Hank Bulla, in his second season at Buffalo, his first as a head coach, took over in the 5th game. A year ago, Don Shula, who's dominated Buffalo over the seasons. The Bills have only won twice in the last 20 years here at Miami. They do have the #1 passing game to the Dolphins in the NFL. But of late, they've come a cropper on offense, and on defense, they have been awful. Had only 7 points last week against New England and are giving up 35 points a game. Through just 5 games this season, the Dolphin defense has already given up 50 or more points on 2 occasions. The kickoff by the Bills. Scott Norwood is out of bounds, so he'll kick it again from the 35-yard line. Temperature at game time, 93 degrees. Humidity in the 70s. And as you said, Trump, and you experienced it as a player here, there's nothing you can do to prepare for it. It's going to take its toll in the fourth quarter no matter what you do.
You go to the sideline. You consume as much fluids as you possibly can. You don't want to overdo it, though, because then you have the upset stomach. You try to ice the players down with towels, but the weight loss, it affects the guys who really have a very low rating of body fat, more than the big heavy guys. I mean, the big fat guys, they can afford to lose 8 or 10 or 12 pounds in a football game. But a little guy, the running backs, the defensive backs, the wide receivers, they end up with leg cramps, and it's very debilitating. I had a situation down here one time where I had to have IVs because of the heat and humidity late in the football season. I had a headache from that for 3 weeks afterwards. It was awful. You just don't.
Is that all you were doing down here?
No, that's all I was doing. Yeah, it was just from a lack of body fluids.
Well, I'll tell you, talk about it being tough on the little guys. It's no good deal for the big guys either. They've had to transfuse a number of people with glucose going to the airport after they played down here. And now the Bills are ready to try again to kick it off as they'll hit it from their 30-yard line. You see the domination of the Shula Dolphins over the years. Buffalo last one here in 1983 in an overtime game. Bills are 1-4, but they're a pretty confident young team. A good hit by Norwood, driven back. And Lorenzo Hampton will not bring it out, so it'll come out to the 20, and there Marino with the #1 passing game in the NFL despite his 7 interceptions of the last 2 weeks, ready to direct the offense. Hampton, a second-year back from Florida, good runner. Woody Bennett, a power back. He said he didn't see the Dolphins trying all that hard in their loss last weekend at New England. Shula said, I didn't see that, or the people that weren't trying wouldn't be here. Very critical matchup. Dallenbach, the left tackle for Miami, has to go against Bruce Smith of Buffalo, a rising star defensive end. People in the league think he's going to be the dominant pass rusher in the years to come. He, of course, was the #1 player drafted a season ago. Now in his second year out of Virginia Tech. Smith is 78 at the top of your screen. Dolphins like to throw early. This time they go to Lorenzo Hampton, and the Miami Dolphins get the ball to their 27-yard line. Running at Smith. They get 7.
The Miami Dolphins are looking for any little thing to change their their attitude. That's a big play. Last week against New England, first play of the game, Dan Marino threw an interception.
Linebackers Eugene Marv has been a standout for Buffalo, an inside backer. A couple of those backers undersized, Frazier and Cumby. The secondary, they've been switching people around. Bellinger, who played on a national championship team at Miami, University of Miami, starting today for the Bills. It is now 2nd down and 2 where they spotted the ball. Bennett, the up back, takes it ahead for a first down and some more as he's out to the 42-yard line. Martin Bayless, the strong safety for Buffalo, knocked him down. The Miami players had a closed-door team meeting this week. One of the first they've ever had under Don Shula, and some hard words were spoken. They're ready to play, I think.
Joe Robbie, the team owner, came out. He normally comes out only for picture day. Talked to Don Shula. Shula said, "You want to talk to the team?" Robbie did. Players felt better. So they got a chance to correct some real woes here today against Buffalo.
No score, first quarter, as Marino puts it up for the first time. A timing pattern, a hard stick put on by Charles Romes. As Duper goes up and comes down with the ball. That was his 25th reception of this season. Mark Duper. He's had 100-yard receiving games the last 3 weeks.
He's having an exceptional year, too. 18.4 yards per catch. Young guy who will go after the football. You can't intimidate these two wide receivers by the Miami Dolphins, Clayton and Duper. A lot of teams try to because they're small.
Both 5'9". Textbook tackle by Romes, but it was 6 yards down with 2nd down and 4 now. Hampton caught in the backfield. McManny got him first. Number 95, the left end in his 3rd year from San Diego State. Bills are a much more aggressive team this season. A lot more attacking. The Miami coaches said you can't call their blitzes because they come so many different ways. They gamble more now. George Cumby, inside backer, picked up off the waiver wire from Green Bay, was also on the stop. Guy Frazier, George Cumby, Eugene Marvin, Darrell Talley, the backers. Now Tony Nathan, an excellent receiver out of the backfield, comes in the game, as does Nat Moore.
Buffalo now with 6 defensive backs down, 1 linebacker, and a 4-man rush on this 3rd and about 5.
3rd and 5 it is as Marino sets from the shotgun. Throw and a catch. It's a first down for the Dolphins. Jim Jensen, a backup tight end. He plays all over the field. Got short of the zone coverage and came back at the ball. They needed 5. They got 6. So it's down now to the 48-yard line of Buffalo.
And already a change for the Miami Dolphins. That's Jensen's first catch of the 1986 season. This guy can play quarterback, tight end, running back. They call him Crash. He wears a neck collar. But that was an excellent pattern run by somebody who doesn't run a lot of patterns.
You cannot underestimate the Mother Nature factor today. Temperature in the 90s and high humidity. Unseasonably hot even for South Florida in October. Here is a Lorenzo Hampton taken on a good stick by Bayless, the strong safety. On a first down carry, he didn't get much. Dolphins are going to be going to quick timing patterns on the pass. They have such great respect for Bruce Smith, Buffalo's right end. The Outland Trophy winner from Virginia Tech.
Don Shula on the sideline has spent 4 long weeks as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins here. Tell you what, though, in his career in Miami, he's run off a lot of coaches in the AFC Eastern Division. This is just one down time. He's still positive. He wants his players to play reckless. He's not giving up on them.
Still a very formidable passing game. Number 1 in the NFL, averaging 300 yards a game. Marino, home run ball, and it's the wrong way. His receiver, Mark Duper, came back at the ball. And Marino was throwing a fly pattern, so it now will be 3rd down and 10.
Darrell Talley all over Dan Marino. Looked like an audible at the line of scrimmage because Marino was reading blitz. And he's got to get rid of it because there's 56. Darrell Talley, the outside linebacker, right in his face.
So now we'll see what the Dolphins go to on 3rd down and 10. We have 10:43 to play in the first quarter at the Orange Bowl in Miami. The Dolphins at 1-4. If they scored another touchdown in each of their 5 games, they'd be 2-3. The Bills are 1-4. If they scored another touchdown in each of their 5 games, they'd be 5-0. 4 losses by 11 points. 3rd and 10, downfield throw for a first down. James Pruitt, a rookie wide receiver, comes off the flank and takes the ball inside the Buffalo 35-yard line and down to the 31. So on 3rd and 10, Marino hits the 18-yard strike.
Pruitt is an extraordinary athlete. but Marino doesn't like to throw the ball to him a lot because he tends to drop it. Marino with good pass protection, which is always one of the real earmarks of the Miami football team. That's a nice catch there. Very soft hands, hangs on to it. Bellinger tries to get away from him, but a big first down by Miami.
Now Marino might be checking off, yelling out to his wide receivers as he looks at the Buffalo defense on 1st and 10. Throwing a catch. Again, the receivers come back. This is Mark Clayton. And he's finally knocked out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Now, this looks like the Miami playoff offense of recent years. That one was good for a 21-yard gain.
That was on Bellinger. You've got to respect the speed of both Duper and Clayton. Bellinger does. When he turns outside, that's what the receiver is looking for. The quarterback reads that move by the defensive back when he goes from his back pedal to the side shuffle. That's when you make the in route. So far this drive now, no sign of any problem by the Miami offense.
Now it is 1st down and goal from the 10-yard line. Marino looks at his tight end up and down close as he goes to Lorenzo Hampton. He's hit at the 5-yard line. Daly got him first. Eugene Marv came up, finished him off. Also on the play was George Cumbie. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. Here comes Hardy into the game, a tight end. A look at the scoreboard. First of the day. 1 o'clock game's just getting underway and nothing up yet. At least in those first 3 games. And now we look at Miami go 2nd down and goal from the 10-yard line, 5-yard line of Buffalo. Marino looking, swings it out, and a broken up play. Ball was dropped by Lorenzo Hampton, and then Charles Romes helped him out. Dolphins took the opening kickoff and moved right down the field. Big throws by Marino. The last a 21-yarder to Clayton got him down close. 1st and goal, and now they'll go 3rd and goal from the 2.
And they bring in their passing set. Pruitt along with Tony Nathan. Franklin comes out. Or excuse me, Bennett comes out. Hampton comes out. To be a spread formation. This is a nice spot for a trap up the middle.
3rd and goal from the 5. Marino out of the shotgun now. Lone setback is Nathan. He'll be swinging out of the backfield to your right. Up the middle, and again a complete misconnection down close, and again the pressure's put on. Coming on a blitz was Dwight Drain, a big safety for the Bills, a 210-pounder from Oklahoma out of the U.S. Football League, and he got a blitz on Marino and made him hurry the throw.
Don, Buffalo did an excellent job of disguising their defense. They had all 11 guys right at the line of scrimmage, and they were very late in moving out. That's one of the things that is something that Hank Fuller likes to do. Always disguise the defense that you're running. That time Marino didn't read it. Incompletion. Revez in for a field goal.
Dolphins have swept both games from the Bills the past 2 seasons. Claude Revez, who's not had a good year kicking the ball, does get that field goal up and good. And with 8:53 to play in the first quarter, the Dolphins go on the board first, leading 3-0. Back with the Miami kickoff after this.
Drive, you can see the Bills go straight to the sideline in the Orange Bowl, grabbing for the oxygen, trying to get as much liquids in their system as they possibly can. And both benches have those big fans. They'll help. That was a 13-play drive by the Miami Dolphins, consumed just over 6 minutes, which is just what any offensive coach would love to have on an opening drive.
Buffalo defense out there a long time in that opening drive as Miami hits the short field goal by Revez and takes a 3-0 lead. Riddick is back with the rookie Ronnie Harmon for the Bills now. Here's Revez into the ball to kick it off. This will be Harmon from Iowa, #1 draft choice. Breakaway runner, and he's out to the 19-yard line. Looks like Jim Jensen got him. Jensen's down and makes the tackle. And so the Bills go on offense, 1st and 10. Jim Kelly at quarterback. There he comes with Greg Bell as running back, and he'll be catching balls also. Ricky Moore, big back out of Alabama, 235 pounds, starts at fullback. Burkett. Andre Reed are the wide receivers. Metzlars is playing well at tight end, has caught 15 passes so far. Wolford, the right guard, is just a rookie from Vanderbilt, but he's a #1, and they like him at Buffalo. First down. Open man taking the ball on the far flank and moving up the field very nicely. To get ahead is Butch Roll, at rookie tight end from Michigan State. A gain of 11 yards on the play. Haven't gone to Roll often. P.J. Turner, Bob Baumhauer, George Little across the defensive front. They've had problems. So have the linebackers. Offerdahl has been terrific. He's a rookie, number 2 draft choice. Offerdahl is the game captain today. He has been Miami's best player on offense or defense, in the opinion of his coaches. Dolphins giving up 35 points a game. Buffalo gets 11 on first down. Now they go from the 31 first down. Greg Bell takes a look and breaks the run, and Greg Bell is out across the 40-yard line, up close to the 45-yard line.
And already you can see a change by Buffalo after that 14-yard gain by Greg Bell. Starting the game with 2 tight ends, a lone running back in Greg Bell, and 2 wide receivers. That was an excellent sweep run by the Buffalo Bills. Two plays, 2 first downs by the Buffalo Bills. Didn't take them long, did it?
Bills cracking that Dolphin defense with 8:29 to play. First quarter, Dolphins 3, Buffalo nothing. Bell waits for the block, puts on the move, and Greg Bell's ahead for a 9-yard gain. As the Buffalo blockers just blowing Miami off the ball. Brudzinski made the tackle, but a 9-yard downfield play.
Don, same play the other side. It was sweep left with double tight ends. Now you got a double pull by the guard, 73. You see him out in front with an excellent block. Will Wolford. Greg Bell just following lots of people. Brudzinski finally makes the tackle, but that's 3 plays, 14, 11, and 9.
Just about a first down offense for Buffalo. They don't know what third down is in this drive. Kelly takes a look. Open man coming out of the backfield, and Riddick sprints up the sideline and gets inside the Miami 40-yard line down to the 38. That Dolphin defense, Trump, is playing a deep zone, and Buffalo's just coming underneath it.
They're also getting no pass rush whatsoever on Jim Kelly in his first drive. At the line of scrimmage, we'll watch behind Baumhauer. He's 73 right in the middle. Ken Hull is the center, handling him by himself. Look at the guards. They're standing there with somebody looking for somebody to block. Hull does the job himself, doesn't need anybody.
First down carry, and the Bills take it straight ahead. Ricky Moore had a terrific game against the Jets last week. Had 95 yards rushing and receiving the ball. 235. Buffalo's been looking for the power back for a long time.
Watch the nose tackle, Bob Baumhauer, against the run. Don, I think he's playing on one leg. Missed the entire 85 season with the knee injury. Still trying to rebuild strength in that leg. I admire him for being out there, but he's not nowhere close to 100%.
Greg Bell is the eye back on 2nd and 6. Play fake to him, and Kelly looks for distance. He's got a man with a step on the defense, and it's tipped away. Paul Langford tipped the ball away from Andre Reed, running a fly. Langford was beaten but came back, and so now it will be third down for the first time in this drive for the Bills.
So far, the Buffalo Bills run the ball very well, so they run a play-action fake. Langford in single coverage, looking back for the football, just gets his hand on it. That's the first miss the Buffalo Bills have had in this opening drive, Don.
Dolphins lead at 3-0. They drove with the opening kickoff. Looking for 6 minutes down the field. Stalled the Buffalo 5 and 50-shot field goal to lead. 3-0. Blitz picked up. Kelly in trouble, and Jackie Shipp gets him. The most maligned player on the Miami team, an Oklahoma linebacker, Jackie Shipp, a #1 draft choice, who's not had a lot of great days here at the Orange Bowl. Every talk show in this city, center of conversation is Jackie Shipp and his poor play, but he makes a Pro Bowl play there.
That's the 14th sack by the Dolphins so far this year. They had a double linebacker blitz. 56 Offerdahl. Shipp gets him. Watch the strength of Jim Kelly. He just drags Jackie Shipp across the ground. Begrudgingly goes down, and the drive stopped by the Dolphins.
With a prevailing wind at his back now, Scott Norwood's going to try a 60-yard field goal, and the Miami Dolphins are stacking the front. They're coming to block it. Good breeze behind Norwood. It'll give him an assist as he gets it up. He's got the distance. Well hit ball. He hits the upright that goes back. It's been that kind of a year for the Bills. Would have been good from 70 had it been 6 inches to the left. He could kick 1,000 balls and not be able to do that again from 50 yards out.
That's his first miss of the 1986 season. Good spot. You can see how high this ball is. It kind of fades on him a little bit of a slice, and it hits that upright squarely. No points.
And so the Dolphins take it over.
John Kidd, Norwood with the kick, plenty of distance, but watch the holder. Norwood kickers always think it's good, but the holder, come on, stay
Not
there,
a live action. Marino dropping to throw, swings it out near flat. It's caught by the tight end Hardy, but just for a 2-yard gain out to the 43-yard line. Not only was it a missed field goal for Buffalo hitting the upright, but it gave the Dolphins excellent position to start their second drive outside their own 40. Baumhauer, in a sense, Trump playing on one leg, isn't he?
They're taking care of his injured left leg, too. He wears one of those Anderson knee braces and is constantly messing with it, trying to get it adjusted right. Said he doesn't have a day without discomfort with that knee.
Marino with the quick drop on 2nd down and 8. Over the middle, he's got his tight end. Hardy, free ball. Buffalo has got it. It is a Bills football. Picked up by George Cumby. And he's not done till he's all the way down to the 14-yard line of Miami. So the Bills have a disappointment and then come back and make a huge play. Hardy had it and lost it, and George Cumby, who's said to be undersized, but coming out of Oklahoma as the #1 draft choice at Green Bay, he was one of the fastest defensive players in the country.
And a very heady player, too. And Don Shula, once again, the disgust of his football team. At this point in the season, they were -8 in the giveaway takeaway with that turnover. Now -9 through the first 5 1/4 football games. A 38-yard return. Well, Buffalo has another chance now. Looks like the officials are looking at a replay of some sort, or at least consulting on the sideline to see if Bruce Hardy had his second foot down.
Sure looked like a fumble from up here. He had it and took 2 steps with it.
Thing about it is, though, the official up here in the booth can look at the replay, and he can determine whether or not Hardy's second foot was down. Then and only then is it truly a completion. He has control of the football, and the second foot hits the ground.
So with 5:18 to go in the first quarter and Miami leading 3-0, the fumble goes, and so does the return by George Cumby, who takes it down to the Miami 14, and so the Bills now have it 1st and 10 inside the Dolphin 15-yard line. Burkett goes out wide to the right. Andre Reed on the left flank. Those are flyers. Kelly goes to the run, and again the Buffalo offensive line whacks open the Miami defense. Richard, the left guard, and Jones, the left tackle, blasting out, as did Kent Hull. The Jets have gone up in front of favored New England 7-0. Dallas up on Washington 7-0. There's an Oilers scoreless at the Astrodome, at least for the moment. Atlanta up on the Rams down in Georgia. As right now, the Bills have it 2nd down and just about 3 for the first down. 2nd and 6 for the touchdown. Back to the run. Back to Greg Bell. And right into the Miami defense he goes, again behind that center, Kent Hull. It's going to be a 1st down for Buffalo, 1st down and goal.
Certainly no pretenses on Buffalo's idea here. If they believe that Bob Baumhauer, former Pro Bowl defensive nose tackle, playing on one leg, that's exactly where they're going. Good push by Hall, Richard, and Wolford up front. And before anybody touches a running back, they gain 3 or 4 yards.
This short drive set up by the fumble recovery and return by George Cumby. 3-0 Miami, first quarter. 1st and goal, Bill. Greg Bell taking on tacklers, and he's down close to the goal line, but not in. Bell wants that ball a lot, and if he doesn't get it, Kelly will hear about it. They bachelors, they share a house together.
Do they really?
Up there in Clarence, New York.
You can see excellent blocking up front. It looks like the guy who makes the contact first is Brzezinski. Stops him just short of the goal line. Second and goal.
Just about point blank. Yard out. Kelly calls his own number, and he didn't get there. Old Miami defense was looking for it up the gut, and that's where the Bills came with it. And so now a critical down comes up for Buffalo. Third down and goal from the 1-yard line. Jim Kelly loves the Orange Bowl, and the University of Miami loves Jim Kelly. As you're pointing out, Trump, there were serious conversation down here 6 years ago about dropping college football.
He saved it.
Now they're number 1 in the country. Bell could be going wide. Here's Greg Bell over the top, and he didn't get there.
Great play.
Inches from the goal line. Andy Hendel, a rookie linebacker, came over the top and met Greg Bell. 4th down and inches.
John Offerdahl, number 56, is also in there. They get penetration. Now watch what happens. Hendel comes over and hits him. Offerdahl hits him. Bell just a little bit short. That's one time running as opposed to jumping. I think Bell would have gotten in the end zone. They're going for it, Don.
Byram, a 235-pound rookie fullback, leads the blocking, and Greg Bell gets into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Fuller fist in the air, so the Bills had to work hard for the final yards, but they get in and take the lead 6-3 with 2 minutes and 15 seconds to play in the first quarter.
One of the things that Hank Fuller wanted for his offense was good lead blockers. He's got them in Ricky Moore, and this time Carl Byram blasts up in there. Greg Bell is no dummy. Follow the big guys. Hendel once again.
He just reached the ball over.
Oh, that's not supposed to be a touchdown. You're not supposed to pull the ball out over the goal line and have it count. This one's tough to see from that angle, but the official on the far side of the field put his hands in the air. 6 points.
Now Norwood to try the point after. Good. And with 2:15 to play in the first quarter, the Bills take the lead with a 7-3 count on the board. Buffalo's kickoff in a moment.
We're going to watch this football go over the goal line. But, Don, I'm telling you, if the ball's not held within the framework of the body, that's no touchdown. You can see the official top side. He puts his hands up signifying touchdown, but you got to have that ball in the framework of your body in order for it to be a legitimate touchdown. I think Miami held.
Well, the officials looked at it back and said, no, it was a touchdown. And so it's on the board. 7-3. Buffalo in the lead, ready to kick off now. Joe Carter and Lorenzo Hampton are back. Carter won't bring it out as Norwood is working in the first quarter with a lot of tailwind coming off the Atlantic Ocean. Now Dan Marino comes back out, took the Dolphins down the field in their first drive. They stalled the Buffalo 5 and kicked a field goal to take a 3-0 lead. Next possession, after a long miss by Buffalo, a 60-yard miss that hit the upright. Marino took his team down, but then a fumble, and Buffalo turned it into a touchdown. Back after this. Don Crickey with Bob Trumpy back at the Orange Bowl, where the Bills have just gone in for the touchdown that gave them a 7-3 lead. Dolphins have to go from their 20 now. Marino against the big rush, eludes it. Lorenzo Hampton takes the ball and is knocked out of bounds. As he gets to the 30, he's going to be close to a first down. Might have it.
On the tackle, number 26, Charles Rose.
Rome's on the tackle after a 9-yard gain. We have a chance to see the way 2 nose tackles play the spot. This is Fred Smerlas. He's more of a look-see nose tackle. He tries to jump through gaps and look over the center. Baumhauer, on the other hand, is almost a blind nose tackle when the ball is snapped. Smerlas doesn't play by feel. He's looking to get to that quarterback. That time he did pressure Marino.
Brings up second for Miami, less than 1. Lorenzo Hampton straight ahead. He's been averaging 3.6 a rush. Miami's running game has not been good. Their passing game 300 yards per, but the running game has been averaging only 80 yards a game, and offensive penalties have taken 60 of that away. They've averaged 60 yards a game in penalties on offense.
Last time this Miami Dolphin football team had a 100-yard rusher, it was Joe Carter 2 years ago. It was against Houston, just 105 yards. And you need balance in the NFL in order to win, Don. The Dolphins are definitely out of balance.
Coach Shula in his 24th season as a head coach in the NFL, and this is the worst start for any of his teams. Baltimore here. Quick pass and a nice catch. Good for a first down. A slant pattern as coming off the flank and making the move on the ball was Mark Clayton, who was shut out last week against New England. Didn't catch a ball. You talked about their courage earlier, and that certainly was demonstrated there, right into the teeth of the defense. He goes and gets it.
With Paul Warfield, our broadcast partner, Bob Greasy, used to make this pass famous down here in Miami, and for a little guy, he knows he's going to get hit. Bayless, number 43 of Buffalo, did, but he hangs onto the football.
Marx brothers both with big average per catch yardage. You saw Mark Clayton's 21 a catch. Duper's over 18. Hampton. Big stick. Tony Furjanic, the rookie linebacker from Notre Dame, who's been playing first downs for George Cumbie. Then going out as the Bills are using some slap substitutions early, makes the stick.
Very smart to use those substitutions too, Don. Keep as many people on your football team as fresh as possible. Bola, by the way, it's interesting. When he was with, I think it was New England, he and Fairbanks were the first two guys to settle on the 34 defense every down. I mean, Miami's credited with the 34 defense, but they only used it in special situations. New England used it every down, and Bulla was the defensive coordinator.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score of the Bills 7 and the Dolphins 3. Back to the Orange Bowl after this.
Telecommunications simply means making a connection. Me to you, A to B. When that meant creating a communications network 22,000 miles above the Earth, they called Contel. When it meant a 16-phone system at the Omaha headquarters of Vic's Corn Popper, they called Contel. Small business, a tall order. Contel can help you communicate better, too. For Contel, I'm Charlton Heston.
Hands off to Horning, slash over the right side, and
Vince Lombardi said when the game is on the line, Paul Horning is the greatest player I've ever seen. He led the Green Bay Packers to 3 world championships, was twice the league's most valuable player, and he led the NFL 3 straight years in scoring.
I present the Golden Boy, Paul Horning. It's been a long journey for me from the frozen gridiron in Green Bay to here in Canton, Ohio. But it's a trip I wouldn't have missed for the world. Your journey to the Pro Football Hall of Fame will probably be a lot shorter, but it's one that every fan should make. It's all here. The teams, the stars, the records, so you can see the men and the great plays that have been a part of the game we call pro football. For me, being here in the Hall of Fame, it's like crossing that last goal line. I feel like I'm at home. And I know Vince would have thought I was a winner.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Don't miss it. This message furnished by the National Football League.
T-shirts on Miami Vice. It is uncomfortable down here, and you can see the Buffalo Bills trying very hard to conserve as much strength as they can, protect themselves from that sun and the humidity.
Chance of showers, I would think so. Humidity in the 70s. Now the Dolphins start the second quarter, trailing Buffalo 7-3. Second down and 8. Marino gets time, and Marino gets his mark down to the 35-yard line. Lorenzo Hampton out of the backfield makes his 19th catch of the season.
That's one thing that is very characteristic of the Miami Dolphin offense. They've got those deep threats in Duper and Clayton, so your running backs, Don, have to be excellent receivers. Deep coverage. Marino very quick to go to Nathan and to go to Hampton out in the flat and also to the tight end.
So now the Dolphins are challenging as they have the ball just inside the Buffalo 35. On first down, Marino gets time again. And tight end Dan Johnson can't hold it. So it'll be second down and 10 from the Buffalo 34. A couple of weeks ago, Don Shula, after a Miami defeat, said it can't get any worse than this. Last week, after the 34-7 loss at New England, Shula said, I was wrong, and today it was worse.
Marino there talking to Johnson. It appears that Johnson ran the wrong pattern. Maybe he should have stopped, but because Marino throws this short underneath Johnson.
Marino now 9 of 13 for 93 yards. 7-3 the Bills lead early in the second quarter. Tony Nathan weaves into the Buffalo defense as he gets down close to the 27-yard line. Eugene Marr, Buffalo's leading tackler, made the stop. It'll bring up third down and about 3.
Nice mix here by Miami's offense. Play action passing, throwing out in the flat, run this guy.
3.
Buffalo has been showing a lot of different blitzes in the game. They haven't in this drive. Let's see what they go to now. Some of those big Buffalo linemen, hands on hips, getting set to tee off. Bruce Smith looks to be worn already in this game.
This should not be a blitz down, Don.
3rd and 3. There's the blitz. Full one. He gets it away, and Jim Jensen gets it down to the 22-yard line. That's just what Buffalo's been doing. When you're not looking for it or it's not a blitz down, they go to it.
But, Don, that's too easy for the offense to read. That's why 3rd and short is a lousy blitz down. Marino from the shotgun can look at everything. Bayless, 43, right there in the corner of your picture, comes outside. He turns Jensen loose. Jensen runs about a 4-yard pattern, just enough to make the first down. That's a lousy time to blitz.
They call it the hot area. They go right to the area the blitzer comes from because it's open. Jensen was free. Now the Dolphins get 4 new downs. Starting this at the 22-yard line. End zone. Touchdown. Oh, it's dropped ball. Mark Clayton wide open in the end zone, drops the ball. Running the pattern on Derek Burrows. Number 1 out of Memphis State, although he doesn't always look like one.
He had him dead to rights. Clayton ran the out move. Watch Burrows. He bites on the out move, and bam, Clayton goes by him. Burrows doesn't even see the ball. No contact. Clayton just dropped that one, although it would have been a very tough catch.
Burrows is going to see that again very soon. Clayton going out in the right flank at the top of your screen against Burrows as he moves off him. 2nd and 10. Tony Nathan heading in down to the 2-yard line. Martin Bayless saves a touchdown, if but for the moment. A 20-yard gain on the play. And the Dolphins now in position to take the lead again.
This is an excellent job of looking off defenders by Marino. He looks upfield. That isolates Marr, 54, on Tony Nathan. Bayless finally comes in and makes the tackle, but you got to give a lot of credit to Marino. He looked off that linebacker and allowed Nathan to get open.
Now big power back in the game, Ron Davenport, along with Lorenzo Hampton. Davenport stood up and driven back at the 2-yard line. 1st and goal from just outside the 2. They got less than a yard as again the rookie Tony Furjanic filled with a driving tackle.
Mike Hamby there too. Good job by the Buffalo defense.
Jets were talking about a whole new game plan they were going to use to attack New England after the Patriots dominated them in the second game of the season. And the Jets are leading 14-0 as you see some of the other scores from around the NFL. This is the 11th play of this drive. Again, the Bills defense on the field a long time. 12 minutes to go, first half. 7-3 Buffalo, but Miami with 2nd and goal from inside the 2. Davenport, free ball, and the Bills have it in the end zone.
That's a touchback. Bills ball. They'll get it at their 20.
Furjanic might have freed the ball.
Don, it looked like
Hamby recovered.
It looked like Marino and Davenport never really had the mesh on the handoff. Watch how stretched out Marino's hand is. You see there? It looked like Davenport was just trying that ball.
Hit him.
Never really got a hold of that ball at all. None whatsoever. Again, watch how he's got his arm stretched out, Don. You see how Marino's trying to get it in there? It looks like Davenport ran that a little too flat. Should have been more at Dan Marino. Results in another turnover.
Furjanic hit it with a fist, and Hamby recovers. The Dolphins are stopped. The Bills take over when we come back.
Here, Marino fakes the pitch. When he spins right, first, right there to the man on the outside, comes back to try to get the ball to Hampton. The Davenport never gets it in there. That ball never gets to the running back at all.
Now the Bills go 1st and 10 after a second fumble recovery. Kelly, play taken, loop ball. Burkett comes back at it and gets it out to the 31-yard line. It's a catch and a first down for the Bills, a 12-yard gain. Timing throw by Jim Kelly. Big Mike Hamby with the recovery in the end zone. 11:42 to play now, first half.
That's 17 turnovers for the season that the Dolphins have had. They're now -10 on the takeaway giveaway.
Bell runs the ball, doesn't get much on a first down carry. Carried it out to about the 34-yard line. Make it 2nd down and 7. John Offerdahl from Western Michigan came in to make the play. Miami's leading tackler. He was the first player the Dolphins selected in the last draft. They didn't have a pick until the 2nd round because their 1st round went to Tampa Bay as part of the Hugh Green trade. And unfortunately, Hugh Green is gone for the season with a serious knee injury.
Offerdahl last week, 12 unassisted tackles.
Andre Reed and Burkett come wide to the right for the Bills. Double tight ends. Second down and 6. Perfect lead. Greg Bell puts a move on and gets out to the 41-yard line as the Dolphins come hunting the football. Langford and Brzezinski pounding on the ball trying to free it.
Today's game is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By U.S. Armed Forces, it's a great place to start. And by AT&T. In long-distance services, information and network systems, telephones and computers, AT&T is the right choice.
With Bob Crumpy, this is Don Criqui at the Orange Bowl in Miami. A hot, humid day in South Florida. Bills lead 7-3. Go to the run on short yardage. Al Byram, that big fullback from Mississippi Valley, the rookie, drives at the Dolphin defense and gets a Buffalo first down.
Gain of 1, first down.
Jets holding that 14-0 lead. Dallas looking to upend the Washington Redskins. The Skins have not lost, nor the Chicago Bears, who are still scoreless. Rams come back to take a lead in Atlanta now. Kansas City up on Cleveland. Jim Kelly on first down and 10. Throwing a catch to his tight end out to the 49-yard line. A gain of about 7 yards on the play. Metzlars came in from the Seattle Seahawks. He's a target. He's bigger than you are, Trumpy. 6'8".
A lot younger, too. That's the important part.
2nd and 2.
Now, and so far, Kelly has had tremendous time to throw the football. If this Dolphin defense against the pass has had one big consistent problem is lack of pass rush. Jerome Foster now in at nose tackle, barely get off the line of scrimmage.
Henry Bulla pacing the sidelines as the Bills are moving the ball again now. Greg Bell with a change of pace move on 2nd and short. Gets close to the first down. They'll spot the ball at about the Miami 48 where he needed to go. Jackie Shipp was on the tackle. Bills are probably going to their rookie #1 running back, #1 draft choice Ronnie Harmon from Iowa, who's only run the ball twice this year. Only caught 1 pass. That was for a touchdown.
And you can see players from both teams out there on the field, hands on hips, gasping for breath. There's a breeze here in the Orange Bowl, but it is very humid, and you tire, you drain quickly.
It's really a strong wind right now. Bills moving into it, but the temperature is in the 90s and the humidity in the 70s. Bills lead 7-3, second quarter. Greg Bell, big block from Jones, and Bell on first down is to the Miami 43-yard line. Jerome Foster at defensive end made the stop. Bills defense getting a rest. In the first quarter, they were on the field much of the time and showed it.
The Dolphins now have made the changes on their defensive front too. Betters is in there. Jerome Foster is in there. So they're trying to give everybody a rest they can. But I would recommend not running this a lot, because this does nothing but wear out your offense. They can get yards straight ahead. Go with it as long as it works. and then in desperation you could go with the sweep, Don.
2nd and 5. Back to the run. A straight ahead carry is close to the Dolphin 40. Ricky Moore taking it right at the Miami Dolphins. Foster again was on the tackle along with Jackie Shipp. We've done a lot of games here, though, Trump, over the years, and you see it time and again. Teams wear down. They know they're tired, and bang, a critical turnover in the 4th quarter.
Unfortunately for the Dolphins, though, today they've been the ones with the turnovers. 2.
Shula teams have dominated Buffalo. Under Shula, the Dolphins are 29-3 over the years against the Bills. 3rd down, a long 2. Kelly swings it out. Metzlars gets it. He's not going to get there. Good defensive play by John Offerdahl. They was playing the tight end all the way. Metzlars took the ball, and where they spotted, it'll be a yard short of a 1st down. So it's 4th and 1 for the Bills.
It would have been so easy for Metzlars. You can see the whole thing. The 56. He anticipates Metzlars coming across there. There would have been no problem for him whatsoever to go 2 yards deeper. It wouldn't have hurt the pattern at all. That have picked up a 1st down. As it is, Norwood must come in and punt. Excuse me, John Kidd must come in and punt.
Season ago, John Kidd put 33 punts out of bounds inside or downed inside the opponent's 20. Went in the NFL record book with those 33. This year he hasn't done it once. He'll be trying to here. He's a long ball hitter from Northwestern, John Kidd, averaging just under 43 a punt. Now the Bills call a timeout with 6:02 to play in this rather quick-moving 1st half. So the Bills still leading 7-3. We'll be back to the Orange Bowl after this. Back at the Orange Bowl, 4th down. The Bills have pulled their punt team, and they're going for it on 4th and 1. At the Miami 38. Hits back to Greg Bell. Did he get there? I don't think he did. The Dolphins stop him. One of their rare big defensive plays of this season, but they get Greg Bell on a gamble. So Hank Bull and the Bills, and you have to applaud them for it. This team needs a win after all these close losses. They gambled earlier on 4th down. They got there, and there's a player down for Buffalo. Bell is down.
Why go wide? They've gotten great yardage straight up the middle, Don. Sometimes when you take a timeout, coaches can outsmart themselves. That time looked like Brown on the initial tackle. He was stopped dead in his tracks. Those 4th downs can keep momentum going. It can also turn momentum against you. Now Miami, with very few stops by their defense, got to feel good going on the field.
Greg Bell might only be winded. They're not looking at his legs. Here's a player who played only 23 college games at Notre Dame because of a series of injuries. He's been very productive for the Buffalo Bills. Now, while we have a break in the action here, let's go to NFL 86 and Bob Costas. Bob?
All right, Don, both the Chiefs and Browns are 3-2, and they're even at 7 in the 2nd quarter at Cleveland after Todd Blackledge hits Stephon Page for a Kansas City touchdown. Bernie Kosar comes back with this 16-yard swing pass to Ernest Biner, so they're tied at 7 in the 2nd quarter. Back to Cricky and Trumpy.
Thank you, Bob. Greg Bell being helped off the field now. Wasn't a knee or an ankle. Could have been.
No. He has had problems with a groin pull for several weeks, and it looks like the way he's dragging his leg may be the same thing again. It's his left leg that he can't really function very good with. It looked like his foot may have slipped right at the end of this. You see 51 Brown make contact. Not there. When he gets hit here, it looks like his legs might have gotten. One is held. Might have been the other one was pulled. We'll get you an injury report as soon as we can from the Buffalo bench.
5:53 to go now. 1st half, and the Dolphins take over trailing 7-3. Marino running out of time is down back at the 28-yard line. He sacked himself on that one just trying to pivot. He plays with very big knee braces. You don't hear a lot about it, but Marino has bad knees.
And I noticed that the Dolphins are keeping Bruce Hardy, the tight end, in for pass protection. You're right. That one's totally on Dan Marino. He went to jump out of the way, use a John Elway move on him. Fooled himself, a loss of 9 yards.
So now Marino into a deep pass situation on 2nd down and 19. He Sending the Marx brothers deep. Marino on the sprint out. He's in trouble. Gets a moment. Fires and a completed pass out to the 43-yard line. It'll be about 6 yards short of a first down, but it was a 14-yard gainer.
Johnson did a great job here. He was well covered. When a quarterback rolls one way or the other, you only have half the field to work with. You can't throw it back in the middle. But the one thing the receivers can do is come straight back towards the quarterback, which Dan Johnson does. You can see him going right back towards the quarterback. Romes has got him covered, but Romes can't reach around him without it being interference. Well, that's a nice pass and catch.
Reminder to our viewers that we'll be selecting the Budweiser most valuable player for today's game at the conclusion of the game. Third down, a long 5 for Miami. Buffalo leads the game 7-3. Second quarter, 4:30 to play in it. Defender fell down. Rodney Bellinger went to the turf. Cutting back of the ball was James Pruitt, the rookie. It's a first down, Dolphins, down to the Buffalo 37-yard line.
2 big catches by Pruitt now. Excellent job. Looked like the Buffalo Bills were coming with the safety blitz. Again, you see Bayless right there at the line of scrimmage. He's charged with covering 22, Tony Nathan. But when Bayless trips just ever so slightly, Pruitt hangs on. Second catch of the day.
Most of Marino's throws are timed for the release just before Bruce Smith gets to him. Smith has been on him but hasn't sacked him yet. Marino again, lots of time. Home run ball to Nat Moore. He can't get it. It'll be second down and 10 at the Buffalo 37-yard line.
Rome's in coverage. You could see the veteran Nat Moore trying to draw interference.
Nat in his 13th year from Florida has 4 touchdowns receptions already this year.
Did you see him slow down at the end of that pattern, Don? He was trying to draw a bump from Charles Romes, but Jets pouring it on New England here, Don.
Patriots totally dominated the Jets 20-6 in the second game of the season. Might as well have been 40-6 though. Jets were never even vaguely in it. Green Bay stays in that Vinny Testaverde Bowl. The winless Packers losing again. Second down and 10. 3-man rush. This killed the Bills a week ago, and against the Jets, they went to a 3-man rush with a lead in the closing moments of the game, and O'Brien took him right down the field for the winning score.
That Moore 19-yard catch, just a simple pattern. You go down, turn around. This ball should be coming right at us. There's Nathan. He'll draw the linebacker out of the line of sight for Marino. Almost an excellent job by Marr, 54 to get his hand on it, but Nat Moore makes an outstanding catch. Another big third down conversion.
Marino will kill you if he gets 3 seconds. That's all he needs. Buffalo's been giving him 5 with a 3-man rush. Another throw and another drop ball by Lorenzo Hampton. It'll be second down and 10 from the 18-yard line. 2:51 to play in the first half. The Bills holding to a 7-3 lead.
There's a guy they expect a lot of things out for Buffalo. Gerald Talley, tall, rangy, can move. He might have Hampton all day in coverage. Something the Miami Dolphins will try to explore. Buffalo has a great deal of faith in Talley to stay with just about any running back you can find in the game.
Marino has some big numbers here, Bob. 14 of 21, 170 yards.
No turnovers, no interceptions. That's big.
But they've fumbled the ball away twice, said the Dolphins. Now on second and 10, here's Marino. Oh, and a catch. First and goal, Miami. Mark Duper comes off the flank. Stays short of the defense. Dolphin receivers coming back at the ball a lot when Marino gets time, and there's that 8-man coverage. They're just coming right back at Marino, and he fires that fastball in there.
Guy Frazier was the closest man in coverage. Watch Marino. He looks all the way to his left, comes all the way back to his right. Duper's an outlet receiver, and Frazier knocks him out of bounds, but another, well, they're going to measure it. Looks like a first down pickup. Marino's getting plenty of time, and also the zone coverage by Buffalo allows these little gifted wide receivers of the Dolphins to kind of move around in there. That's first down. This is another long drive. Dolphins' first drive was 13 plays, and they got 3 points. They ran 11 plays and then turned the ball over. This one's gone on for quite a while, too.
Your recall that this drive started when the Bills on a 4th and 1 went for it. Greg Bell was stopped short, left the game with a muscle pull. Dolphins took over. And now they've moved the ball on the right arm of Marino down to the Buffalo 8-yard line. First down and goal, Miami. Buffalo 7, Miami 3. 8th play of the drive coming up here. Bills could be blitzing here. Here they come. Run. Nathan stopped.
Tony Nathan on the carry.
Ran right into Dwight Drain. Weak safety on the blitz.
Eugene Morrow makes the tackle.
Nathan had no place to go whatsoever. But at least they did get the handoff.
Second and goal from the 7-yard.
Awful tough to keep Marino and the Dolphins out of the end zone from this close in. They did a while ago, you remember, when the fullback Davenport fumbled the ball on a 3rd and goal play. The ball was recovered in the Buffalo end zone by Hamby for a touchback. Now the Dolphins are knocking again, looking to take the lead. They trail 7-3 late in the second quarter. Play is whistled dead before the snap as the 2-minute warning is given.
They had 1 second left on the clock. Marino says, wait a minute, the clock didn't expire. And the ref says, wait a minute, it's just a 2-minute warning. Don't panic, Danny. Don't panic.
And so we'll be back to the heat of the Orange Bowl right after this. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy back at the Orange Bowl in Miami. 2 minutes to play in the first half, where the Buffalo Bills are leading the Dolphins 7-3.
Don, this is the toughest area of the field for a coach to call a play. The inline, of course, helps the defense. They only have to drop something like 16, maybe 17 yards, so they don't have to worry about deep. This is very difficult for an offense to function. You got to come with something out of the ordinary here in order to get it done. You need a pick of somebody, a scrape, to free a wide receiver or a tight end out in the flat.
Marino watchers have said after the last 2 games they were the poorest 2 games for him since his senior season at Pitt. But he's sharp today. Dan Marino going for 200 yards passing in the first half, but he's not had the Dolphins in the end zone. Now he releases. He's intercepted. The Bills pick it off. Coming now with the ball is the veteran cornerback Charles Rome, and so Miami turns it over in the Buffalo end zone a second time. 3rd turnover the half for the Dolphins.
That's shocking. The ball was intended for Clayton. Watch the coverage. Clayton bottom right at the 10. He goes down. He's got Romes on him. Now Clayton doesn't even look like the primary receiver. I think it's Tony Nathan. When the ball is thrown, Clayton gives up on the pattern. Romes is right there in front. He was certainly open, and Marino hits him. 3rd turnover of the day for the Dolphins. This one I think you got to put on Clayton. I don't think this is a bad choice by Dan Marino. Clayton's got to continue the pattern. He quit on it. He just stopped.
How far can you go when you're at the back of the end zone?
NFL plays here when the Seahawks battle the Raiders.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL 86.
Back at the Orange Bowl, Rob Riddick just called on to carry the ball for the first time. Rips off a 14-yard gain for the Bills and gets it out to the 34-yard line after the interception by Charles Romes in the end zone. Interception of Dan Marino.
Looks like the steam has gone right out of the Dolphin defense. Here's the primary receiver. That's Tony Nathan. Watch the play that he runs. It's a delay inside. He's the primary receiver, but Marv has great coverage. So Clayton is like, he's not even a receiver. But still, when you're down in that goal line area, the responsibility of the receiver is look back at the quarterback, find some spot open. 3rd turnover of the day by the Dolphins, and the 14-yard run comes back.
Ken Jones was called for holding, and so the ball is set back to the Bills' 10-yard line. You wonder why Buffalo just doesn't open up the passing game against a team that's giving up almost 270 yards a game to the pass. Last in the league. Riddick runs again. Apparently, Coach Bulla is going to be happy with his 7-3 lead.
Dolphins take a timeout, Don. Try to salvage something out of this first half. There is so much. It is very, very difficult to balance a football team to make it successful. And when the offense turns the ball over 3 times in the first half, pressure goes on the defense once again.
Buffalo has only 47 yards passing in the first half. Miami 200.
Well, the third quarter earnings report is going to be released tomorrow.
7-3 while the Jets continue to dominate at New England over the favored Patriots. Dallas holding that 10-0 lead on Washington. The Bears finally get a score as they look to go 6-0. Atlanta's come back to take a lead over the LA Rams now. Chiefs and the Browns tie. Detroit with a 14-point advantage on winless Green Bay. New Orleans up on Indianapolis, and Tampa Bay leading St. Louis. Vinny Testaverde is the prize this year. Quarterback for #1 ranked Miami of Florida. The last shall be first in the draft. He's worth waiting for. Jim Kelly now will put it up. Fires up the middle to Rob Riddick. Gets a block and sprints straight ahead, and he's going to have a first down. Fumbles the ball. And the Dolphins have it at the 37-yard line of Buffalo with 1:25 to play. Jerome Foster gets the ball, so the Bills cough it up for the first time.
Riddick has had a bad habit of carrying that ball loose. He makes a nice reception. Kelly's looking all over the place here. Finally finds Riddick right in the middle. At times, Riddick carries the thing out there like it's a newspaper, and there he does again. He survives the first hit. Ship, number 50, hits him. Bud Brown also on the assist. Langford there. And Jerome Foster, the nose tackle, gives the Miami offense another chance.
Dolphins with the 3 turnovers, as you see, but now a big break for Miami. And with 1:25 to play in the first half, Marino gets another crack at it. Running away from the pass rush. Incomplete at the 25-yard line.
Their first of the day now. Miami has a chance, but Miami's had several chances. They've been on the plus side of the field here against the Bills the entire first half. Got only 3 points to show for it.
Never has a team coached by Don Shula been 1-4 at the outset of a season. Right now, the Dolphins struggling to get into the end zone. They've not gotten points yet today other than the field goal early in the game by Reves. Buffalo leading 7-3. Second down and 10 with 1:18 to play in the half. Throwing a catch to Dan Johnson. He's to the 30-yard line, and the clock runs. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining, and Miami takes one now. Third down and 3 will arise when the Dolphins go back into formation.
On from the 30-yard line now, I think the Dolphins have a lot better chance to try to get the ball in the end zone than they do from the 9. It's third down. The first thing they got to do is pick up the first down, and then they've got good working area for their speedy receivers. You can run a lot more of your offense from the 25 than you can from the 9.
Bills substituting on defense, trying to keep fresh troops in there. Coach Bulla putting a lot of new defensive people in. His defense has been out much. NFL 86 is coming up at halftime as we have 1:09 to play in the first half. Sunday number 6 of the 1986 NFL season. The Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins standing at 1-4. Somebody said, Trump, about the only people that aren't convinced the Bills have a standout young football team are the Bills. They're still not sure.
Kelly has even said that. Tell you what, though, losing is a hard habit to break. And this team has suffered 2 back-to-back 2-14 football seasons. They're in the midst of a 19-game losing streak on the road. And Kelly has never been with a loser. In high school, in college, and in the U.S. Football League, he ate other people up. He doesn't like this at all.
He's also never played in the NFL before this year. He's a rookie in it.
6 DBs for Buffalo, Don.
3rd and 4. Bills look like they're going to blitz. They've gotten away from that 3-man rush that Marino was killing. They do blitz. Here's a long ball into the end zone. It's going to be touchdown Miami. Mark Duper and Dan Marino beat the blitz. A 30-yard touchdown throw, and Miami goes in front, 9-7.
We'll see this all the way. Duper's 3rd catch. He's at the top of the screen, and from the 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, he's got Bellinger beat. All Marino has to do is make sure the ball is up in the air enough that any adjustment Duper has to make, he can make it, keep it inbounds in the end zone, and it's an easy 6 points. Duper's 3rd touchdown catch and Marino's 13th touchdown pass of the season.
Extra point is good, so the Buffalo turnover was critical as the Dolphins turn it into the go-ahead touchdown. With 1:03 to play in the first half, it's a 10-7 game Miami.
You can see the pressure once again drained right in the face of Dan Marino, but all he's got to do with that strong arm of his, get it up in the air. I think Hank Bull would like to have that defensive call back.
Rod Bellinger, the beaten corner.
Nice concentration on the football. Perfectly thrown by Dan Marino.
I can't believe, though, that Kelly just doesn't come out and just wing the ball all over at this Miami defense. Everybody else has, and has moved it for 35 points a game on the average. A not very good San Diego team this season is proving. Got 500 yards and 50 points against the Dolphins, throwing the ball virtually every down.
Well, one thing you could do at halftime is say, wait a minute, this is what we're going to do. There's nothing wrong with making changes.
A couple of new kickoff returners in now for Buffalo. Willie Broughton and Ronnie Harmon are in.
Robes now has the wind at his back. Let's see if he can put it out of the end zone the way Scott Norwood was kicking it out of the end zone for the Buffalo Bills.
Gervais hits the ball and really puts a charge into it with the wind at his back, and Broughton watches it go out. And so, with 1:03 to play in the first half, Jim Kelly brings the offense out, and he'll be throwing, I would think.
Maybe the wind is stronger than we suspect up here, Don. Maybe that's one of the reasons why the Bills have not thrown the ball. Incidentally, in Buffalo's only win against the St. Louis Cardinals, he only threw the ball 10 times, completed 6. And we haven't had a punt in this first half.
Right. Jim Kelly comes in with an 81 quarterback rating, 59% completions. He's thrown for 6 touchdowns this season. He's been intercepted 6 times, but 3 of the interceptions late in the game have led directly to defeats. Rob Riddick runs the ball. Riddick fighting to get out of bounds. Cannot. He pops it up again. They're ruling him down. That get him out of the game. This 2 runs and 2 fumbles. That's not what you're looking for.
He does carry it loosely, not against his body. They're not saying he was down. I think they're saying he was stopped.
Inbounds. A problem in Miami. Another thing a lot of players don't realize, and he's not had a problem fumbling Riddick this year, is the fact that the ball is slippery in this humidity.
From behind the offense. Now watch the way Riddick has that ball hanging out there on the side. You see that? That's the formula for disaster. That's a fumble. That's a fumble, Don.
Not in according to the officials. Right back to Riddick. 2 arms on the ball, and so the Bills are going to run out the clock. Not going to risk putting it up and getting another interception. We'll watch again the Riddick non-fumble. He's been a terrific player, Riddick, when he's gotten his chance. This ball is slippery in the humidity, and some people come in and don't realize that.
Bud Brown is there. Langford. That ball is loose.
I think it hit the ground to get loose, though. That means it's dead.
Yeah, but he's got to be down.
The ball has to be down.
He has to be down, and then the ball hit the ground. That's a fumble.
Now Don Shula takes his Dolphins to the locker room with a 10-7 lead. Not pleased with the overall effort, but he has to be with a 3-point lead. They've had their problems this season leading at all.
3 turnovers in the first half and leading. You're right. They got to be very happy. Buffalo, you got to wonder about how long their defense can hold up. Miami's time of possession in the first half, I think, is a lot more than Buffalo. So you certainly hope that your defense doesn't wear out for the second half.
Despite all the yardage the Dolphins have allowed to the opponent's pass, Kelly has not thrown the ball a great deal in the first half. He has hit virtually everything he's thrown, but he hasn't gone deep very often. Marino has, particularly after that last turnover when he got into the end zone to Mark Duper for the go-ahead touchdown. So the Dolphins, who were favored by just over a touchdown in the local Miami papers, hold to a 3-point lead. Miami historically has been a lot tougher in the second half at the Orange Bowl, and Buffalo has been the NFL's best at stopping scoring in the third quarter. So at halftime, it is 10-7, Miami in the lead. Now let's go to Bob Costas at NFL 86 in New York. Here's Bob. Passing for the Bills, while Marino had well over 200 and passed them to a halftime lead.
He's 7 of 8, though.
Yeah, well, that's indication all the more that he should be throwing it. Nobody stopped him when he's thrown it.
Well, one of the things I think that Buffalo is going to have to settle on, they have Bob Leahy as the pass coordinator on their offense, and they have Jim Ringo as the run coordinator on the offense. I don't think that works. You need one guy that has to answer to the head coach, Hank Bulla, as to what the play is going to be. You can lobby your way into a lot of third down and long yardage situations or the short end of a lot of scores. You need one coach who's responsible for that offense other than the head coach.
Dan Marino coming off a bad 2 weeks in which he threw 7 interceptions total in 2 games, had just 1 today. When they gave him time, he was effective. Bills mixed up the pass rush. He moved the ball against him when they were going with the 3-man rush. Then they went back to blitzing him, and finally he did burn the blitz for the go-ahead touchdown. Now the Bills will open it up. They'll be getting the ball to start the third quarter. Ronnie Harmon is back, along with Broughton.
Bills will be against the wind to start this third quarter, and it's still a pretty considerable breeze out there. It might have a bearing on just how much or how deep the Buffalo Bills might want to throw the football.
Reves moves into the ball, and with the wind at his back, drills it downfield, and it'll be out of bounds, and he'll kick it again from his 30.
Kick is out of bounds. It'll be a 5-yard penalty.
Don, look how slow everyone's walking back to their position, trying to conserve every ounce of strength that they possibly can. This is oppressive heat and humidity. Both teams are really wearing down from the heat and humidity. You never get used to this, even though you practice down here. You know the feeling, so you know how far you can go, but you never get used to it.
So unlikely scores. The Jets laying waste to the favored Patriots. Dallas in the process of sending Washington down to its first loss. And the Rams still in a tight game at halftime. 2 prime contenders in the NFC West. Kansas City and Cleveland, both 3-2 teams, move into a tie now in the third quarter. They've been tied, actually, and Detroit now up 14-7 on the Packers, who need Vinny Testaverde as much as any team, about as badly as they need oxygen, really.
How about Brian Bosworth or Cornelius Bennett, though?
They don't get you in the end zone. Here is a kick down the field. Walter Broughton takes it 8 yards deep and is wisely counseled not to bring it out. So the Bills will start from their 20. Jim Kelly and the offense come out. We've not seen Greg Bell since late in the second quarter, when on a 4th and 1 play he tried for a first down on a run, didn't get it, but did get a muscle pull in his leg and went out. Riddick came in and had problems holding onto the ball. Turnovers, it's 3-1. Miami's turned it over 3 times, the Bills just once, but the Dolphins lead the game 10-7.
Bills start the game just as they started the first half. Started the second half just like the first half. 2 tight ends, 1 running back, 2 wide receivers.
Good play fake by Kelly, and a dump off. There is a completed pass to the rookie tight end Butch Roll from Michigan State. And he's all the way out to the 40-yard line. Our producer Glenn Adamo, just in contact with the Bills bench, is informed that Greg Bell won't be back in the second half. Our director today is John Libretto, as we have 14:25 to play in the third quarter.
Greg Bell has aggravated that groin pull on that 4th down attempt, so he's out. So it's basically up to Riddick now on that halfback spot.
Riddick the lone setback as the Bills get a big gainer, a 20-yarder on first down. Throwing the ball. Another throw, and Metzlars has it tipped away. Offerdahl recovering, coming back and just tipping the ball before it got to the big tight end Pete Metzlars.
Don, I also notice in the defense you can see that Jay Brophy is in at linebacker number 53. He comes there on the blitz. Offerdahl does a great job of just reading the quarterback, tipping the ball away. I'm trying to find Jackie Shipp on the sideline for the Miami Dolphins. I don't see him anywhere. We have no report from the Dolphin bench as to injury, but he's not out there to begin this second half, Don.
No, he is not. Moving linebackers around. Jay Brophy, who played at Miami of Florida's in. He steps into the gap across from the tight end. Bills with 2 tight ends now. Burkett goes in motion, is on 2nd and 10. Kelly takes a look, throws a strike downfield. It is intercepted at the 39-yard line. Picked off by the Miami Dolphins. Coming back with the ball is Donovan Rose, the free safety, making his first start for Miami. And he has the ball back to the Buffalo 34-yard line.
That was a great interception. The ball was intended for Andre Reed. It'll come at the top right of the picture. Donovan Rose, the free safety, just activated, tips the ball, and is able to hang on. Now the turnovers, 3 for Miami, 2 for Buffalo. And he carries the ball like the Sunday morning newspaper, too. 27-yard return. Miami once again with great field position for their offense.
Rose played in Canada for 5 years. They thought he was going to sign with Washington, so his wife enrolled in law school there at Georgetown and tried out for the Washington Redskinette cheerleaders, and she made it. She's actually rooting for the Redskins on Sunday while he's down here playing in Miami. Here's a handoff to Woody Bennett. He's seen very little of the ball today. In fact, I believe that's his first carry as he gets it down inside the 35-yard line for a gain of only 2.
For Janik, a nice tackle there. Bennett is a big, strong dude. For Janik, able to almost with one hand on his jersey get him to the ground. Very little gain, about a yard.
For Janik, an 8th-round draft choice out of Notre Dame, out of high school. He was the #1 rated high school linebacker in the country. I questioned his speed a little bit, but not the way he strikes. Came in and made the Bills with an inter-squad performance against the Browns when he had 13 tackles in the summer. Marino with penalty markers down, free ball, and very nearly intercepted. Darryl Talley makes a diving play on the ball as the marker's down at the Bills 30.
This is going to be pass interference either against the Bills or Miami. It's against the Bills. Personal foul against the Bills. Here's Fred Wyant.
Personal foul. Hit to the face, number 56. First down.
Darryl Talley. First guy to go down with heat exhaustion today is a Miami Dolphin, Jackie Shipp, suffering from heat exhaustion. He's back on the field now.
Doesn't look like he's in the mood to play, though, does he?
Dolphins go with those wet towels over the head. Now on the penalty call against the Bills, the Dolphins get it inside the Buffalo 20 after the interception of Kelly. Reverse. Pitch back. Dan Marino, he's in trouble, throwing on the run, and he throws it away very wisely.
Well defended.
Lots of action, but it turns into a piece of junk.
Excellent job by Buffalo. They didn't bite on it at all. It's first to Hampton. Then back to Clayton, who has a nice block on Darryl Talley, and then Marino says, this is a bust. Here, somebody in the 3rd row, take care of this thing.
Between NBC television and NBC radio trumpets, this is our 14th game of the season. We're close to a full season. We see every team try gadget plays, as they're called in the league. Only one makes it work every time. Denver.
You're right.
Everything Denver does ends up in 6 points. Marino, a throw and a drop ball by usually sure-handed Tony Nathan at the 13-yard line. Rod Bellinger was covering. Bellinger's not tall. He's 5'8". He's a hitter, though, in that national championship game with Nebraska here at the Orange Bowl in '83. He put the Heisman Trophy winner from Nebraska right on the bench with a shot to the leg. Mike Rozier.
This is where Miami has really had problems today. Inside the 20-yard line, not functioned well at all. Buffalo again coming with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move so I can see one more guy over there. See if he's a linebacker. 5, 6 defensive backs, 1 linebacker, and a 3-man rush, which is what Marino's beaten today.
They're down. 10 to go. Marino loops it down, and it's not close to a completion, so the Dolphins will send their field goal unit out.
Marino's going right over the receiver, too, saying, what are you running? Come on.
That's the rookie, James Pruitt.
Now, he's made 2 big catches, but it appeared that he ran the wrong pattern there, so Reve's in for the attempt. There, he's talking to Pruitt.
It will be 36 yards.
Reve's hit 1 field goal today, a short one to open the scoring. Coming into the game, he was just 3 of 7 on field goal attempts out of Tennessee. He can hit it a mile. This is a chip shot with the wind behind him. Spins it up and good. And so the Dolphins extend their lead to 13-7. We'll be back with Miami's kickoff after this.
There's a fire-breathing creature Chrysler has imported from Japan. Conquest TSI. The intercooled turbo coupe built by Mitsubishi. So hot it'll smoke the 300ZX and RX-7. Conquest TSI. Now at your Chrysler dealer.
At Raytheon Company, we believe that success comes from mastering the fundamentals. That's why we admire people like Tom Kite. People who are dedicated to perfecting the fundamentals, practicing them day in and day out until they become second nature. So whether it's in electronics, aviation, appliances, or energy, Raytheon works hard on the fundamentals. Because at Raytheon, we believe quality starts with fundamentals.
Everyone needs a little adventure in their life. So why not enter the Great Stanley Tool Adventure? You could win a Chevy S10 Blazer to get you away from it all. A Mercury-powered Larson boat to put you in the middle of nature. And $1,000 in Stanley tools to help you do things right. The Blazer, the boat, the motor, the tools, you could win it all in the Great Stanley Adventure.
I think this dock needs a little more work.
I got a lot of Stanley tools.
Today's game is brought to you by Chrysler Plymouth. We're working together to be the best. By Radio Shack, a division of Tandy Corporation. And by Prestone, makers of Prestone 2 Antifreeze. Don't push your luck. Change it with fresh Prestone.
Don Shula and the Dolphins on the sideline after extending their lead on the Reve's field goal to 13-7, capitalizing on an interception of Jim Kelly and turning it into points.
Looks like Jackie Shipp is back and fine. Don't know what they did for him at halftime, but report from the bench, heat exhaustion. We'll see how much he plays.
Guys can go a little soft in the head in this seat, too, can't they? They think they see oases and water out there.
Oh, yeah, all that stuff. It's scary.
Again, with the wind at his back, Reve's drills it into the end zone. And now the Buffalo offense comes out. Let's go back to NFL 86, where Mr. Bob Costas is standing by. Bob?
Thank you, Mr. Don Criqui. In the third quarter in Cleveland, Bernie Kosar throws his second touchdown pass of the day. It's a 6-yarder to the great tight end Ozzie Newsome. It follows a 44-yard Kosar to Reggie Langhorne pass to set it up. And so the Browns take a 14-7 lead in the third. Back to the Orange Bowl.
Thank you, Bob, where the Bills are ready to go 1st and 10 with 12:32 to play in the third quarter. Buffalo's first possession of the quarter, you'll remember, an interception of Kelly. They're working into a strong win. The Bills will have it at their back in the fourth quarter. Andre Reed comes in motion. They go to the run, and here's Riddick. Taking on some Miami tacklers for not very much. He's out to the 23-yard line. Riddick's missed almost 2 full seasons. He missed all of the 85 season with injuries. 9th round draft choice from Millersville.
Don, Bills come out in nothing but a running formation. 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, and Andre Reed, the only wide receiver. So your question, why aren't they throwing it, still not answered. They're running it.
They're going to throw it right now on 2nd down and 6 from their 24-yard line. See that? Right to the pass. Here's Riddick getting ahead to the 30. He's got a first down. Kelly has now thrown 6 touchdowns as a Buffalo Bill and 7 interceptions.
Offerdahl makes the tackle. Bills aren't out of this game by a long shot, trailing by just 6 points.
Have to play.
They want to stay with their standard offense. This is a nice sweep run by the Buffalo Bills. Out in front gets Jim Richer. Kind of misses everybody, but Riddick is impressive when he hangs onto the football, that is.
Well, he's not a fumbler by normally, but we'll harken back to that humidity. There's a handoff. Riddick up the middle. Dolphins going for the ball. More and more teams in the league, as we see week after week, are teaching go for the football. Denver's the best at it. Former Bill player and coach Joel Collier, he wants people putting their fist on the ball when it comes in, and they free it up a lot.
Well, but it doesn't help, though, when Riddick carries the ball out like he's got an apple in his hand. That's a football. You got to tuck it in underneath your arm. It looks like he's carrying the ball now with 2 hands on it.
Reed comes to the right. They're playing Burkett, the tall receiver, at the top, very tight. Kelly dumps it off. It's incomplete.
That's a sack.
They're ruling it a sack back at the 20-yard line. Jerome Foster got him. So on 2nd down and 7, a big loss on the sack by the Dolphins, and now the Bills will operate from their 20. 3rd and long yardage.
From behind the offense, you see the pressure. Offerdahl comes. He kind of makes Kelly throw it up there, and then Jerome Foster gets it. Now's the time when I think Miami will go with lots of blitzes. Lots of blitzes. Try to disrupt the offense of the Bills as best they can.
Kelly, as you know, Trump is a very mobile quarterback. Had his best success in the U.S. Football League sprinting out. We've seen Marino, despite his infirm knees, doing that more and more as the whole pocket is under pressure so much against these huge rushers. 3rd and 20. Throwing a catch to Riddick. He's got moves, but Riddick is stiffened up and straightened out of bounds at the 34-yard line, short of where he needed to be by 6 or 7 yards, and the Bills have to punt the ball into the wind.
That was a 14-yard catch, but watch him drop off. Total zone everywhere. You don't cover a man, you cover an area. You read the quarterback's eyes. When he throws it, react to the ball. All you're trying to do is just keep him from getting that first down marker, and Renee Thompson makes the tackle.
Believe it or not, with 9:54 to play in the 3rd quarter, this is the first punt of the day. John Kidd was out once. They pulled him then and went for it on 4th and 1 and didn't get there. The Bills wish it was the 2nd punt of the day. Ball is down to the 33-yard line. Derek Burrows comes down to get it for the Bills with 9:45 to play. Just a 33-yard punt. And so Miami gets it back when we return to the Orange Bowl. Tide has turned markedly in this game. Late in the 2nd quarter, the Dolphins took the lead on a touchdown throw, and now they're very much in command, although leading by just 6 points.
They've had great field position all day long, Don, and once again,
Marino looking for more, and Clayton's wide open. Down inside the 30-yard line of the Bills.
Don, the thing eventually is, with good field position by the Miami Dolphins offense, they're going to get it down the field. Clayton and Duper are not going to be shut out of many football games. Great pass protection that time by the offensive line. That was easy pickings by Marino. 39-yard reception by Clayton. And I think the Bills defense is wearing out a little bit.
I think you're right. Bills working with Bellinger and Romes at the corners. Martin Bayless and Steve Freeman are the safeties. And Marino smells blood. He's been firing with a lot of effect. Big rush against him. He loops it up and it's incomplete. There's a penalty marker down, though, in the Bills secondary.
Looks like Tony Perjanik may be the guy who is going to be called here. I think it's pass interference once again against Buffalo. And that's an indication they're tired. Defensive holding. That's a true indication that they're tired.
Old Hank Bull has bulked up a little bit.
Good guy, though.
Great guy.
Defensive holding. Boyarsky was a man with pressure on Dan Marino. They've switched a lot of defensive people. You see Bruce Smith now coming in. Boyarsky and Plater in on the defensive front.
Now the ball is positioned inside the 25-yard line. First down and 10. Marino looking to put up more. Whoa, what a stick. George Comby with the head-on shot. Now this from NBC News.
Loss of 2 yards. Second and 12. Loss of 1, second and 11.
We're standing by for an NBC News update from Reykjavik, Iceland. Jerry Boyarski, the nose tackle with that head-on hit on Woody Bennett. Now a man jumps offside. Bruce Smith, free play for Marino. Another marker down the Bills secondary. Coming back at the ball and not getting it. Miami Dolphins Mark Clayton.
Things are kind of falling.
NBC News special report. Here is Tom Brokaw in Iceland. This has been an NBC News special report.
John Cricky with Bob Trumpy back at the Orange Bowl in Miami, where the Dolphins have just gone in for a touchdown. Lorenzo Hampton diving over the top from a couple of yards out. We'll show it to you momentarily. Only the third rushing touchdown of this season for the Dolphins as they now extend their lead to a very substantial 20-7.
Hampton, while we were away, makes an outstanding catch here out in the flat from behind the offense on his rear end. He catches it. Gerald Talley finally gets him down. Now watch this dive. Their third rushing touchdown, and Hampton's got them all into the end zone. Let's measure that one. 20-7, Dolphins over the Bills.
And we'll be back with another Miami kickoff after this. The Buffalo bench as the Bills fall behind 20-7 now. In the third quarter, Miami set to kick it off again. Reves moving in, a four-step move on the ball, then the high spinner with the wind behind it.
Stay there.
And again, the Bills are unable to return. They're playing at the tough end to take kickoffs as they're driven deep with the prevailing wind. But Bills will have that wind at their back in the fourth quarter with 7:43 still to play, though, in the third quarter, and the Bills need something from Jim Kelly right now.
The time of possession is surprising, very surprising. Miami, I think, statistics-wise, has dominated the football game. Turnovers, of course, allowed Buffalo lots of chances. Made good on only one.
Ronnie Harmon in the backfield. Kelly throws on the run. The ball is taken by Riddick, and he fights to get out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Gain of about 7 yards where they'll spot the ball. William Judson defending on the play.
Bills staying with their game plan. Down 20-7. Still running the play action passes, trying to get the backs in the flat. Haven't really thrown the ball deep yet today.
Second and 2.
Well, the Bills have speed at the wide receiver position. Burkett goes wide left. Andre Reed on the right flank. Jerry Butler's not been in there. Out in the second quarter last week with a concussion. Pitch back. Harmon, the rookie. Caught from behind by John Offerdahl, the best Miami Dolphin player of the '86 season, a rookie linebacker.
Did an excellent job of stringing this play out to the sideline, allowed the pursuit to catch up. Whenever inside linebacker makes a stop on a sweep like that, you got to give some credit to the outside linebacker. That's Bob Brzezinski, number 59, who was able to string that play out. Offerdahl makes the tackle. And Hampton is getting a little help there from the trainer.
Third down and 2. Here's Kelly looking at Metzlars. First down to the big guy, and he's out to the 43-yard line as Metzlars comes off the line of scrimmage. That time Offerdahl was a step behind. And the Bills got a substantial gain, good for 15 yards and a first down on 3rd and 2.
Play action again. Metzlars with those big, long arms. That ball's thrown low. Looked like Jackie Shipp, number 50, was the man that's supposed to be there in coverage. Bud Brown makes a stop. 15-yard game. Buffalo first down.
Bills, if they can take it down and take it in, are right back in the game, and they'll work the fourth quarter with the wind at their back. Miami's defense now digging in, looking to come after Jim Kelly. He's throwing more in the second half. He's been intercepted once. Good screen out to Rob Riddick. Blocker there, and Riddick rips it open, and he's all the way down to the Miami 39-yard line. Maybe Buffalo's best offensive play of the game.
Bud Brown again on the tackle. That's the safety, the strong safety making the tackle. There were several missed tackles by the Dolphins. This is set up well by Buffalo. Very well. It's got to be sold. The play action fake. You see people out in front of him. Will Wolford out there. Excellent blocks, but then Riddick really does a pretty good job by himself. 26, Donovan Rose misses him.
Riddick in pain on the sideline. Looked like he hurt an arm. Jim Kelly now has 142 yards passing. Had just 66 in the first half.
Fumble.
Free ball, and the Miami Dolphins have it. Buffalo goes to the run, and Buffalo pays again.
Don, I think it was Byram on the carry. Byram's the lead blocker. Harmon is the first-round draft choice who carries the ball. Bud Brown, I think, strips the ball away. Number 43. And then Brodzinski with the recovery. Now turnovers even. 3 apiece.
Dolphins had turned it over 3 times before Buffalo made their first misconnection, and now it's evened up, and the Dolphins might put on the knockout punch if, with the wind at Marino's back, they take it in here. Hank Buller's team in trouble right now when they were moving the ball. Throwing it, they move it. Running it, the rookie coughed it up as the Dolphins' expert ball tacklers just punched it away. Looking for it on first down, wide open is Mark Duper. He can't hold on at the 15-yard line.
Romes fell down.
He's done that already this year.
Romes was a good 20 yards behind Duper. But of course, when this ball is thrown, Marino doesn't realize that Romes is going to be on the ground. This is a mismatch. He bites on the out again. Duper goes right by him, but the ball's already been thrown when Romes is on the ground. He almost makes a spectacular catch.
Great second look by our NBC cameraman, as with now 4:36 showing on the third quarter clock. Marino's been sacked just 1 time in this game. Once he fell down, you remember, when he went back. Hand off to Hampton. Lorenzo Hampton, 2 arms on the ball, takes it to the 50. It's a first down for Miami. When the tacklers come up, the Dolphins put 2 arms on the ball. They fumbled early, and Shula gave a warning.
Eugene Marv on the tackle. That's a draw trap. Did an excellent job at the line of scrimmage. Popped right through there.
New England coming a little closer, though. The Jets still with a 14-point lead. Washington finally on the scoreboard after trailing 16-0. Chicago continues to lead Houston. Atlanta now coming back and taking a big lead on the Rams. Cleveland doing the same on Kansas City. Dan Marino on first down dumps it up to Tony Nathan. Running in the open field, the former Alabama star is down to the 35-yard line. First down, Dolphins.
15-yard pickup. The Bills just have nothing left on defense, Don. Their defensive line is basically at the line of scrimmage. A good block by Lorenzo Hampton right in front of Tony Nathan. Big pickup. Miami driving.
Nathan has now caught just 2 passes, you see, but for big yards. 36. Dolphins 20. Bills 7. 3 minutes and 9 seconds to go in the third quarter. Hampton wrestling hard against Eugene Marv and Tony Furjanic. They've had Furjanic in virtually the whole second half for Cumbie.
Furjanic, a much bigger linebacker. Now watch the way they stand there in the huddle. You can tell they're tired. Bruce Smith, 78. Nothing wrong with the conditioning of this football team. It is simply the humidity. When your strength starts to go, I mean, nothing brings it back.
Dolphins, of course, training this. That's why they've been such a great team, particularly late in the season at the Orange Bowl. Long ball, man is open. Too much on it for Mark Clayton. Derek Burrows was the beaten party that time. Earlier they got Rod Bellinger.
Once again, man-to-man coverage. The Bills come with a blitz, strong safety and inside linebacker, and it's a foot race. When Marino threw this ball the last time, he threw it up in the air enough that Duper could run underneath it. This time Clayton, the ball wasn't thrown high enough, just a little bit too long.
Mark Clayton is 5'9", 185 pounds. He's one of the most spectacular athletes I've ever seen in my life. We had him on NBC Sports World in the Superstars competition. His athletic ability it almost defies description. He goes over that high wall, that 12-foot wall, without using the rope. He jumps up and grabs the top, and he's over in half a second. Another long ball. 3 on the field, incomplete.
No. Oh, they're calling it incomplete. I thought that was an interception by Bellinger.
Yeah, he lost it when he came down.
Pruitt was the receiver. This time they get good pressure on Dan Marino. Let's see who it is. It's Bruce Smith that gets in there and puts a shot right in his chest.
Marino wants to put the knockout punch on here, Bob.
Yeah, that ball loose. Almost a nice interception by Bellinger. Pruitt goes up for it. Ball's taken away, but he couldn't hold on, so Reveiz comes in.
You beat the Dolphins, and they've been beaten badly this season by throwing the ball. Kelly got hot in the third quarter, but they lost it on a running play to the rookie Harmon over the middle, and now Miami subsequently is looking for a long field goal. Drilled hard by Reveiz. It's wide, and so the Dolphins, after the turnover, don't get points. The Bills get it back with 2:06 to play in the third quarter. Miami still leading by 13.
I've tried it. Now I believe it. Denerex Tingles tells me it's doing more. Head and Shoulders, no tingle.
Both have dandruff medicine, but Denerex adds both an extra anti-itch medicine and conditioner, too.
Goodbye, Head and Shoulders. Hello, Denerex.
Hot and humid, just like the vacationers like it in South Florida, but not the Buffalo Bills, who came down here after working in temperatures often in the 40s this week up in western New York. And now the heat factor is beginning to show as the Dolphins have opened up a 20-7 lead with 2:06 to play in the third quarter. Buffalo working into a gusting wind. It's died down a bit now, but much of the time the flag at the open end of the Orange Bowl is straight out. Coming out of the east in the Atlantic Ocean, right at where the Bills are moving. They'll have the wind at their back in the fourth quarter. Kelly takes a look, brings it out. He's got Riddick. Moves on Langford. Only works every time when they swing it out to Riddick.
That time they had Riddick at fullback, Ronnie Harmon at running back. First time I've seen Riddick at fullback today.
The worst they do is 9 yards.
Now they've gotten it down the field. There's certainly no doubt in anybody's mind there. You can't go to that as a steady diet, though, and expect to beat the Dolphins. Do you agree? They haven't thrown the ball deep at all today. That's my point. Try it once or twice just to put the threat of it in there.
Well, the Jets scored 51 against him throwing it. San Diego scored 50 against Miami throwing it. Today the Dolphin defense has tightened up, though. Third down, second down and 1. Good play call for Kelly. He can go deep. And he's going to. Now he swings it out, goes back to Riddick. Drop ball at the 43. Third down and 1 Bills. Low-thrown ball.
Yep, underthrown by Kelly. Didn't follow through on that. It did appear that he was first thinking about going deep. He's trying to get it to Willie Broughton, it looked like. Do I have the right number? Yeah, Willie Broughton is in there at wide receiver.
3rd and 1.
.153 to go in the third quarter. Miami 20, Buffalo 7. Third down and 1. Riddick is in the backfield. And so is Carl Byram. We haven't seen Ricky Moore in the second half. Throw and a catch. And straight ahead, running with the ball and getting ahead for the first down for Buffalo is Gary Wilkins, a backup fullback, backup tight end. 14-yard gain on 3rd down.
Excellent job. Kelly's looking all over. He can't find anybody to throw it to, and then Wilkins makes the adjustment to make himself open. You can see Hindle, Andy Hindle, number 90, is the man in coverage. That's a nice adjustment by Wilkins. First down, Bills. Still throwing it to the running backs. They're getting it down the field.
Doesn't take long when you're getting 14 on it. Miami defense now might be coming with a blitz as Kelly looks to put it up again, going a little more run and shoot. Here's the home run ball to Jerry Butler, and it's overthrown at the 5-yard line. So Butler comes in the game, runs the fly, and there's a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage. Could have a hold on Buffalo. Lyman trying to buy Kelly time to go deep.
It is holding Buffalo. A lot of that has to do with fatigue. When you get this tired, it's like your feet are in the cement at Grauman's Chinese Theater. They just won't move.
Right in that Walk of Stars, huh?
Yep, the Walk of Stars.
Now, you knew, as we look at Don Shula, Hank Bullowell in Cincinnati, when he coached the defense that went to the Super Bowl, and they really did it on defense.
First down.
How much does he get involved with the offense?
I don't know how much Hank knows about the offense. I really don't. He is a defensive genius. He's always been able to come up with the timely call, the right blitz, the perfect defense. At least he did in Cincinnati. And of course, looking at offenses all those years, certainly give him some feel for what the offense is. But I think he pretty much turns it over to Bob Leahy and Jim Ringo.
First down and 20 now for the Bills. They trail 20-7 late in the third quarter. 1 minute to play in it. Kelly gets time. Unloads. He's got a man, and straight ahead, running down the field is Roll, the tight end.
Fatigue is showing on the Dolphins, too. Very poor tackling there, right between Brown and Offerdahl. Rawl just kept right on running. That's a 17-yard gain. This is, I believe, initially intended for Butler. You can see the tight end standing right there. Watch this. That's Shipp and Brown, excuse me, and Offerdahl, and Brzezinski makes the tackle.
And now we have a moment to NBC News.
I'm Tom Brokaw and Ricky.
In Miami, Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy, where the Miami Dolphins on this touchdown plunge by Lorenzo Hampton have opened up a 27-7 lead. We'll be back after these messages from your local station with the conclusion of the game. Back in Miami, Florida, with 7 minutes and 9 seconds on the clock running in the fourth quarter, the Dolphins have opened up a 27-7 lead over the Bills. Buffalo has the ball now. Second down and 5 coming up after a 5-yard run by Rob Riddick. He is the lone setback as Kelly takes a look, throws, and he's almost intercepted by Jackie Shipp. Now let's review around the league as the scores come in. There are some upsets in the making, and some unbeaten teams are going to continue that way today. The Jets holding to a 7-point lead in the fourth quarter after they led New England 24-0. Dallas now opening up a 23-6 lead over previously unbeaten Washington. Houston has just scored and trails the Bears by 7. Atlanta's leading the Rams by a 23-7 count. Cleveland en route to a 4-2 record, leading in the fourth quarter over Kansas City. New Orleans holding to a 3-point lead over the Colts, and right now it is third down and 5 for the Bills. Jim Kelly at quarterback, troubled by a couple of second-half interceptions. Now he's on the run. He'll get the first down and plenty more as Jim Kelly slides out to the 44-yard line of the Bills. It's a first down, Buffalo.
George Little right in Jim Kelly's face, did a nice little spin. He is certainly a mobile quarterback, one of the biggest quarterbacks too. Watch from the right-hand side. You'll see George Little all of a sudden appear. He gets around the offensive left tackle. Looks like Ken Jones. Kelly is a guy out of that run-and-shoot offense with the Houston Gamblers. Can run the ball very well.
After throwing for 66 yards in the first half, Kelly's now completed a total of 15 passes out of 21 throws, 181 yards. He has been intercepted twice. Kelly on first down. They've been scoring on the short patterns. Ricky Moore, the big back from Alabama, out of the backfield, gets ahead. He's got a gain on the play of about 7. Offerdahl knocked him down as the game clock is down to 5:50 and running in the fourth quarter. And the Dolphins lead 27-7. Hank Bulla came into the game as a head coach at Buffalo with an overall record of 3-14, and barring a dramatic comeback, his record as the Bills head coach will be 3-15. They go to the run, and Riddick breaks into open field. Rob Riddick with some great moves gets down close to the 35-yard line. First down Bills as the clock continues to run. 5:20 to play.
Don, you mentioned the record of Hank Bulla. Of course, if the Dolphins win, that'll be 20 straight games that the Buffalo Bills have lost on the road. Last win, December 4th, I believe 1983 in Kansas City.
Defeats in a row on the road for the Bills. Now as Kelly takes a look and throws hard. He's too high for Andre Reed at the 17-yard line of Miami.
Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Langford in the coverage down, I think, there's the comparison of the two quarterbacks.
Starting wide receivers, Trump, have no catches for Buffalo. Burkett and Reed.
Marino with 337 yards made it look easy today. At one interception, you still got to put that on Clayton's shoulders. Not a bad day. And the Dolphins defense limiting Buffalo to just 7 points. Lots of pluses all around for Miami.
Ronnie Harmon takes it down to the 24-yard line. We do have Burkett down for 1 catch. But the Buffalo wide receivers have not been very productive. Very limited playing time for Jerry Butler. Came in and ran 1 fly pattern, and they didn't make the connection. He's been troubled with some injuries. Now the game clock is down to 4:20 to play as the Bills break the huddle at the 23-yard line of Miami. Dolphins trailed in the second quarter 7-3. Came back to take a 10-7 halftime lead and now have opened up with 17 unanswered points in the second half. Ronnie Harmon is open, takes on a tackler and gets down to the 15-yard line. Short patterns have worked all day for Buffalo.
Judson was the tackler there. I think Miami's very happy to allow Buffalo just to throw the ball underneath. There's been only 1 attempt by Buffalo to throw the ball deep today.
Bills actually picked twice in the first round. Harmon was picked, and then the big starting guard Wolford was picked at 2 number 1. Second down and less than a yard for the Bills. Kelly can run for the first down and does, as Jim Kelly's out of bounds at the 12-yard line. First down Buffalo.
Excuse me, Don. Kelly's not had a bad day today. 18 to 25, 207 yards, but the problem has been the 2 interceptions he's thrown. The 4 turnovers by Buffalo, 3 by Miami. Going to turn the tide of the game. But this is a franchise with a bright future with that young man at quarterback. Whatever and however long they struggle in 1986, eventually the cast of characters around Jim Kelly is going to get better. He is a quality performer.
Right now he's looking to get the ball in the end zone, something Buffalo's not done since early in this game. End zone throw, and there's too much on it for the rookie tight end Butch Roll, a 7th-round draft choice from Michigan State. And so it brings up second down and 10 for the Bills at the 11-yard line of Miami. They'll meet again in Buffalo, will the Dolphins and the Bills. November 16th, Miami travels to Buffalo.
And I'm sure Jim Kelly was hoping for a little better return to the Orange Bowl, where he played collegiately for the University of Miami. Just not worked out today. The fumbles took him out of a couple of drives.
Bills will be home for 4 of their next 5 games. They play Indianapolis and New England the next 2 Sundays at Rich Stadium. Go on the road to Tampa Bay, then come home to play Pittsburgh and Miami. Kelly on second down and 10. Riddick again. Rob Riddick is down inside the 5-yard line with 3:09 to play.
Langford down and hurt. I have a feeling a lot of that is fatigue. You can see how slow these players are. That outlet receiver in the flat has been open all day long for Jim Kelly. He's taken it. Their running backs have done an excellent job of getting the ball up the field after it's caught. Langford wanted no part of Riddick there.
Langford was being looked at on the Dolphin bench a little earlier for an injury. Now third down. The Bills need 6 for a first down, 7 for a touchdown. Little run and shoot play. A throw and a catch. It's a touchdown for Buffalo. Andre Reed coming off the near flank, turning out at the ball, and he's in the end zone. So Kelly has his first touchdown throw of the day, and the Bills now trail 27-13 with 3:03 to play.
Kelly looked awfully comfortable on that little half rollout. It looked like a page out of the run and shoot offense. He comes at the line of scrimmage, squares his shoulders. There's so much this kid can do. That is on the money, right in front of William Judson. Touchdown.
Andre Reed with his second touchdown catch of the season. Now Scott Norwood is on the field to try to point after for Buffalo. Extra point is up and good. With the Bills leading and the Bills trailing 27-14 back after this.
Today's game is brought to you by the heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet. By Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by Harris Corporation and their Lanier Business Products divisions. Lanier, we're easy to use.
Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at the Orange Bowl in Miami with 3:03 left to play. The Bills have just put up a touchdown on a Jim Kelly throw to Andre Reed, but they trail 27-14.
Dolphins expecting the onside kick. They have 9 of their 11 players right up at the 10-yard line, 10 yards from the kicker.
This is the first time this season the Bills have not led in the fourth quarter. In all previous 5 games, they've had fourth quarter leads.
Here we go.
Coming to the left side. The Bills set up the on try. They'll probably kick it hard. Look for the ball to bounce off somebody.
Got to go 10 yards.
Good kick. It's a free ball.
Didn't go 10 yards.
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't. Didn't
Somebody
go 10
was
yards.
offside.
Didn't go 10 yards. It was illegally touched. That ball has got it's kicked at the 35. It's got to get to the 45.
Either that or somebody was offside on Buffalo.
Done nicely, though, by Buffalo. Timing with the kick. Almost on a snap count. Now, if the ball didn't go 10 yards, Miami can get it right there at the spot where it was illegally touched by Buffalo. We'll see what the call is.
Illegal touch, re-kick, 5-yard penalty.
I thought they had the choice. I thought they could take the ball. So it doesn't keep them out of jeopardy, because Buffalo's going to try it again. This ball has got to go 10 yards, 5. It's got to get to the next line, and it's hit by a man.
To block.
Hit by Byram, I believe. And therefore, it goes as an illegal touch, and they got to kick it again, and they're going to get the same thing again.
Buffalo will re-kick from the 30-yard line.
That's one of the biggest problems that the Buffalo Bills have had in 1986. Baseball score for you. Bottom of third, Boston leads California 2-0 in, I would say, a must game for the Boston Red Sox.
World Series coming up on NBC Sports beginning Saturday night, October 18th. Right now, though, the Bills trailing 27-14 with 2:56 to play in the game, looking to try the onside kick again. Scott Norwood teeing it up just like he likes it. No pretense here as the Bills have all their people aligned on the left side.
This is exciting. I like this.
Here comes the rush. There's the kick. Didn't get there again, at least.
Same thing. 5-yard penalty. Kick it again. This is a good idea by Buffalo because the defenders are at the receivers at the point where you hope the ball is 10 yards deep. But they're very smart. That time, once again, it goes right off the back of a Buffalo Bill. Now, I thought on one illegally touched, you could take the ball where it was touched.
Illegal touch, number 35, 2 consecutive short free kicks. Penalty is declined. First down.
Now they get the ball at the spot where it was hit. Don, one of the big facts today, I think, in Miami's success, one penalty. They've averaged 10 penalties, 9 penalties a game through the first 5 games. At -5 yards, a big difference in the first 5 games.
So now the Dolphins, with a 27-14 lead, take over the ball at the Buffalo 39-yard line. Dan Marino, coming out of his passing slump in this game, putting up some big numbers. Going to Lorenzo Hampton, who takes the ball to the Buffalo 36-yard line, as the Dolphins now, with the big lead, are intent to protect their winnings and run the clock.
Bills have 3 timeouts if they wish to use them. Clock at 2:35, 2:34 and ticking.
Marino has passed for 337 yards in this game. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He's put it up 41 times. Has completed 24. See the game clock winding down to the 2-minute warning as the Dolphins go to the run, and again on a 2nd and 6 play, they don't get a lot. Miami now thinking to next week and the Orange Bowl in Miami when the bad Californians come in. The LA Raiders play here next Sunday.
The official took a timeout there. I'm not sure why. There's 2:06 left on the clock. But we do have a timeout. I didn't see it mentioned for either team.
So with a timeout in the field, we break for this word.
When the Seahawks battle the Raiders.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL 86.
Joe Robbie on the Dolphins sideline. His quote after the game a week ago at New England when the Dolphins were beaten 34-7. One of the most inept performances ever by the Dolphins. We're wasting all the potential on this team. The Dolphins got well, at least for this week, against the Bills today. Miami leading 27-14 with 2:05 to play. As Tony Nathan runs the ball, takes on tacklers, and gets all the way down to the 20-yard line. Now we have the 2-minute warning. 14-yard gain for Tony Nathan. We'll be back to the Orange Bowl after this.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes 1985 on a reception that was super duper.
Down tricky with Bob Trumpy back at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Buffalo going down to a 5th loss here, Mr. Trumpy, but they seem to have a lot of good players.
I agree with you. All they got to do is just keep Jim Kelly healthy. This is going to be a fine football team. The first thing they got to do, though, is break some bad habits. Losing on the road, this is going to be their 20th straight. You got to make big plays to avoid being shut out again on the road, losing on the road. And you just got to bring in new players with a winning attitude, and I think Buffalo will be fine. I'm not sure they'll be fine, but they're going to win a lot of football games with Jim Kelly at quarterback. No doubt in anybody's mind. By the way, one other comment. My kingdom for a shower.
It's been hot in Miami as Coach Bulla and the Bills set to get on the plane back north. A 20th consecutive defeat on the road. The Houston Oilers with the record for futility, which they parlayed into about 15 high #1 picks in the offensive line, which hasn't helped them much.
No, you're absolutely correct.
Quarterbacks get you in the end zone.
But you win with defense.
Well, show me a Super Bowl team that didn't have great quarterback play.
But you win with defense.
Right now, a handoff goes to Woody Bennett, and he takes it down inside of the 12-yard line. As we remind you that this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Miami Dolphins and the National Football League is prohibited. Our producer today for NBC Sports has been Glenn Adamo. Our director, John Libretto. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. The coordinating producer of football, Ted Nathanson. As we're down inside a minute and a half to play at the Orange Bowl. The Dolphins off to their worst start in Don Shula's coaching history. A 1-4 start But today they code a 2-4 with a win over Buffalo and now get set to take on the Raiders next Sunday, a game you'll see on many of these NBC stations. 1:10 to go and ticking. 27-14, Dolphins in the lead. Now with the break in the action, let's swing back to New York to NFL 86. Here's Bob Costas. Bob?
Don, after once leading 24-0, the Jets lead over the Patriots now down to 31-24 as Steve Grogan throws his third touchdown pass of the second half. This one goes 18 yards to Cedric Jones. As you see, about 5.5 minutes left. Plenty of time. Don?
Thank you, Bob. Jets never make it easy.
No, they don't. It's always interesting. Ask the Miami Dolphins.
Ask the Buffalo Bills. Last week, the Jets hit the big pass to tight end Mickey Schuler. Bills even had an extra guy in the field to defend against it. Right over the top as Coach Shula has called off the passing game, and they go right to the run. Lorenzo Hampton, who's been in the end zone today, takes it down close to the 8-yard line.
How about the Budweiser player of the game?
I think it has to go to Dan Marino, Trump.
I agree with you.
Our NFL Budweiser most valuable player of this game, Dan Marino, who completed 24 of 41 throws for 337 yards and a touchdown. He was intercepted once. Budweiser will be making a contribution to the charity Dan Marino's Choice. Children's charity right now. Time is out, and the numbers are official. The Dolphins beat the Buffalo Bills 27-14.
Well, now the press and the fans here in Miami will give the Dolphins a week off. They played well. Their defense played a pretty good football game. Hank Bullock goes back to Buffalo. 20 straight losses on the road, and the Raiders come in next here.
We'll be back to the Orange Bowl after this.